Israel, the world's only Jewish state, is located to the east of Mediterranean Sea. Palestine, the territory inhabited by the Arab population originated from land now controlled by Israel, has long been recognized for its persistent conflict with the Israeli presence in the West Bank and the Gaza Strip. Tensions between Israel and Palestine have escalated over time, resulting in numerous violent clashes between the two sides. To comprehend the origins of the Israel-Palestine conflict, one must delve back several millennia. In the 17th century BCE, in response to divine summons, three patriarchs of the Jewish people, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, established themselves in Canaan, encompassing present-day Israel, the West Bank and the Gaza Strip, alongside parts of Lebanon, Syria, and Jordan. This region subsequently earned appellations such as the Land of Israel, the Promised Land, the Palestine region, or the Holy Land. In 1000 BCE, King Saul inaugurated the Israelite monarchy, succeeded by King David, who designed Jerusalem as his capital, and later by his son, King Solomon, who erected the first temple in Jerusalem. Following King Solomon's demise, the unified monarchy divided into the Kingdom of Israel in the north, with Samaria as its capital, and the Kingdom of Judah in the south, with Jerusalem as its capital. While predominantly inhabited by Jews, the land underwent numerous conquests by various groups, resulting in a notable decline in Jewish populace. One such conquest was by the Roman Empire, which rechristened Judah as Palestine in an effort to sever the Jewish ties to the land of Israel. Concurrently, Christianity, originated as a Jewish sect, eventually ascended to become the predominant religion by the twilight of the Roman Empire. In the 7th century, an Arab conquest commenced, progeniting Islam. The construction of the Dome of the Rock atop the Second Temple's ruins rendered Jerusalem as a sacred city, revered by 3 monotheistic regions: Judaism, Christianity, and Islam. Following severe persecutions of Christians in Jerusalem by the Seljuk Turks, a Central Asian empire with expansionist inspirations, European Christians initiated several crusades to reclaim the Holy City. During this epoch, many Jews perished, while others embarked on pilgrimages elsewhere, predominantly to Eastern Europe. From the 16th century until World War I, the Holy Land, alongside much of Middle East, fell under the dominion of Ottoman Empire, a formidable Islamic entity, unofficially termed Palestine. The region witnessed a burgeoning Zionist movement in Europe, advocating for the establishment of a Jewish nation-state in their ancestral homeland. Consequently, in the early 20th century first decade, tens of thousands of Jews returned from Europe to the region. World War I erupted and ended with the collapse of the Ottoman Empire. Its territorial in the Middle East were partitioned between the British and French empires. Subsequently, the British granted more autonomy to Iraq and Jordan, while the remaining region under British control became known as the British Mandate for Palestine. Under this mandate, Britain committed to establishing a Jewish national homeland following the Balfour Declaration, which took effect in 1923. Tensions between Jews and Arabs, both claiming the land, escalated, leading to acts of violence by 1930s as the Jewish population in Palestine increased due to fears of persecution during the Nazi regime in Germany. In response, the British restricted Jewish immigration. Jewish militias then emerged to combat both Arabs and British rule. After World War II, the Holocaust in Nazi Germany claimed nearly 6 million Jewish lives. Many Jews flew Europe to seek refuge in Palestine, intensifying tensions with the Arabs. Overwhelmed by the situation, Britain began withdrawing from the region. The United Nations proposed a plan to partition Palestine into 2 independent states, one Jewish and one Arab, with Jerusalem designated as an international zone with special status. The Jewish population was allocated more territory, 56.5% of the land, but the Arabs rejected the plan. They began forming volunteer armies across Palestine less than a year later, as Britain compelled its withdrawal from Palestine. Israel declared independence, marking a new, more violent phase in the conflict between Jews and Palestinian Arabs. Immediately after Israel's declaration of independence, the 1948 Arab-Israeli War erupted. 5 newly independent Arab nations, Egypt, Jordan, Iraq, Syria, and Lebanon, invaded the region in an attempt to establish a unified Arab Palestine. However, a ceasefire agreement was reached a year later, whereby more than 2/3 of historic Palestine, including West Jerusalem, became part of Israel. Jordan occupied East Jerusalem and the West Bank, while Egypt controlled the Gaza Strip. Consequently, more than 750,000 Palestinians were displaced from their ancestral lands, an event they refer to as Al-Nakba, or the catastrophe. By the unresolved conflict between Jews and Arabs, subsequent decades saw more wars and conflicts. In 1967, the Six-Day War erupted, following a period of diplomatic tensions and skirmishes between Israel and neighboring Arab states, Jordan, Syria, and Egypt. The brief conflict concluded with an Israeli victory, granting Israel control over the Golan Heights from Syria, the West Bank and East Jerusalem from Jordan, and Gaza and the Sinai Peninsula from Egypt. Sinai was later returned to Egypt under the Egypt-Israel Peace Treaty. Post-war, most Palestinian refugees and their descendants were unable to return to their original homes, resettling in Gaza, the West Bank, and the neighboring Jordan, Syria, and Lebanon. An increasing number of Israelis settling in Palestinian territories in the West Bank and Gaza led to establishment of PLO, the Palestinian Liberation Organization, founded in Cairo, Egypt, in 1964, with the goal of creating a liberated Palestinian region within the Israel. The PLO launched attacks on Israel from its Jordanian base, but was eventually compelled to relocate to Lebanon, where it began carrying out acts of violence against Israel. The conflict persisted for years, including the Israeli invasion of Lebanon to expel the PLO from Beirut. Eventually, the PLO agreed to divide the land between Palestine and Israel, but more Jewish settlers moved into the Israel-occupied Palestinian territories. In 1987, a violent Palestinian uprising known as the First Intifada erupted at the Jabaliyah refugee camp after an Israeli defense forces truck collided with 2 Palestinian civilian vans, resulting in the deaths of 4 people. This conflict caused hundreds of fatalities and initiated a peace process that led to the signing of the Oslo Accords by Israel and PLO. The Oslo First Accord was signed by the Washington, D.C., and the Oslo Second Accord in Taba, Egypt. According to Oslo Accords, the West Bank was divided into 3 areas. Area A was exclusively controlled by the Palestinians. Area B was jointly controlled by Palestinians and Israel, and Area C was fully controlled by Israel. Despite further peace talks in 2000, Israelis and Palestinians could not reach agreement on critical issues such as the status of Jerusalem, the rights of refugees, and the expansion of Jewish settlement in Palestinian lands. Ariel Sharon, a Jewish Israeli who would later become Israel's prime minister, visited the Temple Mount, home to Al-Aqsa Mosque in Jerusalem. This action was deemed offensive by many Palestinians, leading to outbreak of the Second Intifada. The violence ended with Israel's withdrawal from Gaza, but continued in the West Bank. Hamas is a Sunni Islamist militant group aiming to destroy the state of Israel and establish an Islamic state. After an armed conflict between Hamas and Fatah, which managed the PLO, Hamas split from the Palestinian Authority and gained power in Gaza. Israel placed Gaza under severe blockade, resulting in several bloody wars between the 2 groups in the Gaza Strip. including Operation Cast Lead, Operation Pillar of Defense, and Operation Protective Edge in 2014. In 2018, Hamas and Fatah reached an agreement to form a national unity government. Also in 2018, the US embassy was relocated from Tel Aviv to Jerusalem, which Palestinians saw a signal of American support for Jerusalem as Israel's capital. In 2021, the conflict between Israel and Palestine resumed, with a series of hostile events in East Jerusalem, leading to several acts of violence until a ceasefire deal brokered by Egypt, Qatar, and the United Nations took effect on May 21st.